team call Wednesday night. I wasn't sure if I was going to make it on. I was like, Jen, you got to run the call. I'm going to be late. Tony's like going over. But what I want to do is tonight is going to be about distributor acquisition. And I know that there might be some people joining us a little bit later on this call that might feature a little bit about what they're doing. But before, can I just share just a few things that I learned from Tony, like today's event? So like 8,000 people in Toronto. I'm just going to highlight a few themes. Now, these are people that are like multi-millionaires that have like, you know, done things right in their life. And you know what the main theme was for just about every speaker? Guys, it's such a simple formulation and it's always in front of our face, but we choose not to do it. So 2 key things is success is about good, healthy patterns. And sometimes we don't want to do those patterns that we need to do. So an example would be, Tony says every morning, doesn't matter where he is in the world, he will jump in a cold pool at like 52. And he will jump in and start his day that way, because once you change that psychological, that physiological state, you set your day up. He's been doing that for like 40 years. He goes, I hate it. I still hate it today. I don't love it. But it's these tiny little things that sometimes we don't like, that we avoid, that's all we need for success. So that was really, really powerful. And then a big thing about comfort zone. All these leaders in front of the stage were like, half the stuff that we had to do or learn or figure out always was out of our comfort zone. So you guys know who Rachel Hollis is, right? Girl, wash your face. So she was on for about 40 minutes. I loved her story. She comes from a hard childhood, like hard. She's got this like tattoo on her that reminds her of her hard. She goes, but my hard was my gift. So we need to sometimes look at our hard as our gift. Well, what I loved about her and her message was she goes, guys, I finished high school. That's it, high school. I never wrote a book in my life. I actually hated reading, but I wrote 2, top seller books, made millions out of it. And her point is, it's because she changed her thought pattern. So every speaker was about, this is what they worked on. This is what they worked on. They changed the way they saw themselves. They changed their story. We talk about this all the time. And there's nothing different than what we teach you as these millionaires. They just went for it. They just kept on getting uncomfortable. So, I guess my theme before we get on in the training is like, where in this business do you need to get uncomfortable? And I'm asking you to do it like every single damn day. Whether you like it or not, if you really have big goals, if you really want that NMD 5,000 plus paycheck or that 10,000 a month, you got to get uncomfortable. That's the main message. These are all very successful people. But here's the thing. Guess what? About 1% are willing to get uncomfortable on a consistent basis. That's the statistic. 1%. Because we love comfort so much. We want comfort so desperately because of fear. But if we get uncomfortable, we're helping ourselves reprogram that fear gets smaller and smaller and smaller. So here's an exercise that you can do. Ask yourself this question: where in your business have you actually gotten comfortable? And then you actually did it again and again and again till it actually started to feel okay. That's where you have to lean in. So in this business, if there's an area where you're like, ooh, I don't want to do that, that's too uncomfortable, that's exactly what you need to do until it's not uncomfortable anymore. So I will leave you with that. That was like the main theme of the day. And I'm just like, wow, like, I don't even think I'm gonna be able to go to bed, but just powerful stuff. So Jen, I know that you wanted to lead tonight. I see you got a little monkey on your lap. I don't want to take over. Did you want to keep on moving through? Do you want to, oh, you're on.
Sorry, I thought I was unmuted. I'm all good. I was just gonna start getting people to share about who's doing well with their bringing on distributors this month. I mean, I would love to open it up to Janice because from what I've been seeing on Team B, this girl is legit on fire. You've been bringing on lots of new team, and I think you know, on these calls, what's so great is hearing where people are finding these people, how you are recruiting them, where, you know, maybe they're old people coming back and like old distributors coming back and starting fresh again, or just, you know, giving people ideas, especially for the brand new people on the call. I was on with Rob yesterday and Lindsay tonight and talking about, you know, where to find customers, where to find distributors. That's the hardest part when you're brand new. So Janice, I would love for you to share. And then, yeah, Nicole, if you just want to hop in and out, because I've got all three of my kiddos. We just finished pumpkin carving because tomorrow is Halloween. I don't want to do it tomorrow.
Okay, thanks, Jan. First of all, Lindsay, who is a rep in the business and was just not doing anything. She got married, moved out to Nelson, had a baby, been a massage therapist for 12 years. I just always stayed in contact with her. When she moved back to Airdrie, when we were in Okotoks, I said, I'm, you know, just so excited you're back. And, you know, we're going to have a Canadian conference and I'd love for you to come and see the bigger picture. So she agreed to come, and she was only there for Alyssa Harriman and then the next day, but she got the vision. And so she said, I want to do this business. She said, I'm going home and I'm going to talk to my husband, and she has his support. So that meant a lot to her. So she's been stepping out of her comfort zone. She's been getting into other groups on Facebook and looking for people's pain. So that's great with Lindsay. She's also reached out to her former chiropractor, and, you know, she writes something and then she'll send it to me and we'll just tweak it a bit, because mostly they have, you know, their authenticity in that. So yeah, it's just really exciting to see her, you know, step out of her comfort zone and feel that fear and do it anyway. And then Jamie was the other one. She was a former rep, and then she got out of the business and just stayed a customer. And then she wasn't taking her product for a while, and then she had a health scare. And so she said to me, I need back on this product consistently. She said, and I think I want to do this business again. So I had both of them have a conversation with Nicole. And so Jamie's just starting again, and we've been going back and forth, and we're planning events. Oh, the other thing, sorry, Lindsay's going to do a Facebook Live. So get into action. And so Jamie and I are going to sit down and plan some events. And then my new rep, Tony, who's a life coach, we met at the Heal the Hat, and I just loved Tony right away. She just has a big heart. She's very beautiful. And so we just had a conversation, and then I went, you know, around, and I thought, I need to talk to her. Just something inside said, you know, you got to ask her if she's open to learning about another business. And so I went back and I spoke to her again, and I just said, you know, you would be perfect for our business. This is what we talk about, health. And I said, and the great thing is we have a team and a mission, and we're in 26 countries. And it's just, I think you would love it. And she goes, I'm really looking for that. I had it when she was doing her health coaching. And yeah, so we exchanged numbers, and then she had a conversation with Nicole. And so, yeah, now she's looking at when she can do her first Facebook event. And what I like is they're very engaged with me, which is nice. When they feel that I need help with this or that, they reach out. And sometimes I reach out to Nicole a little bit. Does this sound right? And so just getting my confidence back again and just being real. And I've been a lot braver too. We bought ourselves a condo, went to see the lawyer, and she kept doing this the whole time. And so the little voice said, you need to talk to her. And so, and she was very personable. I really appreciate it. So at the end, I said, I noticed that you're coughing. And she goes, yeah, I have my daughter in daycare and she brings home everything. And I said, wow, I have something that, you might be interested in. And she goes, oh, what's that? I said, well, plant powders. And then we just had a bit of a conversation. And so I followed up with her today. I just sent out an email, but it's just being brave enough to have those conversations. It's what you said, Nicole. When you have those butterflies in your belly and you either listen to them or you don't, then you walk away and you go, darn, I missed my opportunity and I don't want to miss those anymore. So that's kind of my little stories.
Janice, that is so awesome and how inspiring. I love seeing you just pumped up again and bringing on old team. And guys, this is such a great story. Like, old team doesn't mean that they're dead. People come into the business and like sometimes it's just not their jive. Sometimes it's not their time. Reach out to people. I think Nicole found Melissa on her downline growth. I love her story, right? Like, she didn't even know her and she was a couple down. Go back to people that maybe you gave up on them 2 years ago because you signed up and you sucked in the business like I did when I first started. And that's okay. I remember going back to people and apologizing and saying, hey, are you willing to give it another go? I didn't really know what I was doing. Some came back and some didn't. So that was super, super awesome. So Janice, kudos to you. Tony, I'm assuming Tony on the call tonight is your Tony. Tony, can you get uncomfortable and unmute? I'm like throwing you in here, girlfriend. So my question to you is, we always hear from people talking about how they found new distributors, where they found them. Can you paint me the picture of what the conversation was like with Janice and when did you decide to seal the deal? Because we really want to emphasize on our team calls the power of the tools that we're using. Three-way calls, prospect calls, three-way calls, like third-party validation is so huge. So I would just love to hear from you. Like, what made you say yes to us?
Well, Janice is just radiant and lovely, and they just approached me just with such openness, right? And just really witnessing where I was at and really interested in what I was doing and supporting that. So then she's like, I just got something that I feel like would really line up with what I'm already doing. And she didn't really share too much, but I definitely got curious. I was like, okay, she's just beautiful and radiant, and I just loved her energy and I felt it. And then she's like, you just need to meet my daughter. I think she really talked a lot about Nicole and how lovely she is. And then I got on the call with Janice and Nicole, and it spoke to me. The mission was there. It lined up really beautifully with my mission as a health and life coach, and it's something where I feel like I can really interweave the two and create something. I'm just at the beginning stages of my career as a health coach, so I'm in this stage of getting uncomfortable, so why not really push it? And the marketing support, the support with Janice, like I'm like, okay, I gotta put my post out there, and I am scared out of my mind. And she's like, you can do this, you got this. She's like, and I typed it out and I'm like, oh, I don't know. So I sent it first to her, and then she's like, really good, just maybe condense this part, add this. And I was like, okay. And then I was like, oh my goodness, I just did this. And I sent it back to her. I'm like, okay, I did this. And she just was such a cheerleader and still is. She reached out again, and just all the videos that these training sessions that we got right now, huge. I am really just so excited to be a part of the community, and the support is really what has gotten me excited. And I'm excited to just move into that uncomfortable stage, knowing that I'm not doing it alone. Yes, this is my business and it's as far as I want to take it, but really I am so supported and I can lean on you guys, and and knowing that really that's where growth is where I get uncomfortable. So
that is awesome. Thanks, Tony. I know I totally threw you just on the spot there, but I think that's the best point. You're probably sweating right now, so sorry to do that to you, but honestly, you couldn't have nailed it more. We have so much support, right? And I think when you feel that from day one, that's what people are so intrigued by. So I'm super happy Janice is just like our mama bear, and she and Jim are the absolute best. So you're in great hands. So speaking of like people being sick, our poor Sarah Naylor is poorly. We say poorly in our house instead of sick. So she's poorly. She's got a cold. She does not sound so super hot, but she is like the queen of bringing on and finding new distributors, and she finds them in multiple ways. So I would love for you to share, Sarah.
Sorry about my physical appearance and my voice.
You look hot. You look hot.
Yes, I do not feel it, nor do I look it. But I'm just doubling up, trying to survive. But yeah, I feel like once I, like kind of three things. I'm still growing and getting uncomfortable, and Jen and I talk about, you know, our Instagram stories, and I have no problem asking for the sale, you know, whether it's product or business, but things still make me uncomfortable. So I'm growing in that sense. But in regards to bringing on team, it's just so simple. It's making connections with everyone and anyone that you come across. So I do meet a lot of people online, through Instagram, through not so much Facebook, but just meeting people, you know, becoming people's friends. One of my reps who just came back on the team after going through a really rough time, you know, she was my instructor at the gym. I'm just always making connections with everyone. And when I do the Start Strong, and that is one of my biggest things about getting uncomfortable is, you know, just reaching out to someone that you might not necessarily do. So Costco, I always try to like push the envelope and get uncomfortable, because there's always people in like the multivitamin aisle looking at things. So just like asking them, oh, so what are you looking for? But, you know, just really making connections with everyone. The follow-up is so important as well. I'm bringing on a girl. She's already signed up. I'm just waiting for her to send me her picture. But she's someone that a friend of mine used to work with as a makeup artist, and I added her probably about a year ago, and I reached out to her, and she kind of ghosted me, but I've never stopped following up with her. And 2 weeks ago, she's like just out of the blue, after I got back on Team Z, and she was rated my number 5. And so I was following up with people, and she's like, yeah, I'm really excited. I feel like this is the best time for me. I'm going into my slower season, because she does makeup. So weddings in the summer, obviously in Canada, are as busy, and now it's not. And she's like, I'm really, really interested. So she's signing up. And really just sharing from your heart and detaching from the outcome has been a really, really big thing for me. Really having that 10 out of 10, you know, relationship with the product, 10 out of 10 relationship with the business and the company. And, you know, personal growth is just so, so big on being able to connect and get vulnerable with people, but really, really just connecting with people everywhere and anywhere is my biggest tip. They're everywhere.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Thanks, Sarah. Yeah, you know what? They are everywhere. It's funny. I went over to my girlfriend's house today, and I'm going to be welcoming her to Team B tonight. She was a distributor years ago, and her and her husband ordered, like, they just spend so much money every single month on our products. And I went over to her house today to see her, and I said, I'm signing up for the business. You're going to do it again. This is annoying that you're not a distributor on our team right now. You get so many products, and you're so inspiring. She's lost so much weight. And so she said, well, thank you so much for bossing me into this. Like, yeah, I'm going to sign up as a distributor again. So they are everywhere. And sometimes maybe we just have to be bossy about it, because we feel so shy. You're like, oh, it's my friend. I don't want to insult them, or I'm afraid they're going to say no. And it literally took me 1 second. Like, I've been working on people for 5 years trying to date them. And in 1 second, she jumped in my bed. So just like don't be so scared of everything. I think that's the biggest thing. Like what Nicole's saying, get uncomfortable every day. If you can't get uncomfortable yourself, you get your friend to get you uncomfortable. There's lots of people on this call tonight that I've been getting super uncomfortable over the last 2 weeks. And there's nothing better than that. And that is when people are going to be like, I want to do what you're doing. I'm vibing with you. And people are bringing on team like crazy right now. So with that being said, I'm passing it over to Nicole because all three of my kids are running around. It's almost 9. It's past their bedtime. So I'm going to hop off, guys. Have a great night. Thank you to everyone who shared, and I'm going to pass it to Nicole.
Thanks so much, Jen. I appreciate that. So I just want to say that it's so easy to go into management mode and not recruit. And, you know, after the new marketing plan got presented at conference, and to see and figure out where I want to go and what's next. As you guys know, I'm an action, I'm a red, I'm money motivated, money excites me. And so when I saw that I could make a $30,000 bonus, I was like, damn, I am so excited. Like, I want to go on a fun trip with my girls and family. So all I knew is that I have to double my volume. And the best thing to do when you guys know what your goals are and to create a path, the best way is for you to go into action. And so I am like, my mindset is like, when I was like hitting it hard in this business at different times, I was in massive recruiting mode. And so I'm in massive recruiting mode right now. And it's just a shift. It's just a shift in my mind. I'm like, I am bringing on people. I'm hungry. I'm going for the, I don't say the, you know, the like here, but I'm getting brave with my conversation. So this month I signed up a customer in Newfoundland. She was going to go and add some more products. I said, you know, you're a nutritionist, you're working at a health food store. And I just said, like, do you want more than just working at a health food store? I just asked some questions. Would you like to have a bigger income, a bigger retirement? And I'm asking these questions. So I signed her up, which is awesome. I also, when I got back from conference, started to reach out, as Jen was mentioning, old distributors, right? Old distributors. So I was individually messaging them going, oh my gosh, I can't believe this new marketing plan. Will you give me a chance to share it with you to see if this might be a better time for you to start up? So I re-signed up a new distributor last week in Burlington. She's a nutritionist. And I have a meeting tomorrow at 1 with an old distributor who is a nutritionist that is like, yep, I'm ready to sign up again. So I should have at least 3 new reps, and I've got a bunch in the hopper. I'm back on Teamsy. It is helping me so much, Sarah. I'm so glad to hear that you're back on Teamsy. What was cool about it, and if you guys aren't using it effectively, what I find is it helps me get organized for events. So in my Teamsy, I have categories in files that are clearly identifying my prospects. So I was so grateful that I had spent time earlier this year to make sure that I was selectively putting prospects in the right filing system. They're called tags. So Sarah, I was so excited when I decided just last week to come up to Ottawa and do an event for you guys. And guess what? I have like 12 holistic nutritionists in my file under Ottawa. So this week I reached out to them individually, and out of the 12, I got 2 no's, a bunch of ghosting, but 2 nutritionists that I've been working on for 5 years. They finally said, yes, I can come up. But I think what it is, it's my energy. That's what Tony talked about. It's your energy. When you put yourself in a state of passion, they can feel it. That you get them excited because of your voice. So when I invite, I make sure that I was in the right state. I was standing up and moving. So when you move, you're creating that energy. So as you guys think about like reaching out to people, get in the right physiological state before you leave a message. Get your energy high. As Tony said, you know, success loves energy. And yeah, so I just wanted to say that it's just such a high when you start to do this business intentionally. And that's what Teamsy does for me, is it allows me to do this business intentionally for a short period of time. And it feels good, because if life gets crazy and busy, I know that I can, you know, I reached out to 5 people today. I reached out to 10 people. You know, I reached out to 3 people. At least I'm doing something you know, consistently every day to build my business. And that's what I would encourage you guys to do. So as we wrap up here, thinking about, you know, last week we talked about customer acquisition. This week we were talking about distributor acquisition. As you can see, it's just about the same skill set. And if you feel you don't have the skill set to sign up a distributor, that's okay. It's going to be uncomfortable, especially if you're brand new. And that's where those three-way calls come in. So as mom's getting back in the business and building up her confidence again, she's leveraging somebody like myself to help close and bring, you know, that until she gets to that place where she won't need me anymore. Do you know what I mean? And it's the same with you guys. Don't ever feel bad that you're reaching out to us leaders or that you're inconveniencing us. This is what we love to do. This is what we're good at. And so if you have somebody that's a match for Jen or Melissa or a Susan Baker or whatever, like reach out to our leadership and get those three-way calls going, because that third-party validation is so, so powerful. So that's all I had. Sarah Beermore, are you on? I know you've got to jump off. Where is she? Is there a minute that you want to say about distributor acquisition or adding anything tonight? Oh, you're on mute. Yeah, there you go.
Sorry. Well, just the mindset shift. It's so funny because, like, you know, I was just saying, like, you know, people go like this in this business, you know, the consistency piece is key, of course, but it's like when you go like this, you lose your momentum, you lose your confidence, and you start asking yourself negative questions like, what's wrong with me? Why are they growing faster than me? And like all these things. And it's like, the more you get yourself into action and keep tapping into these calls and keeping your feet close to the fire, the more your confidence starts coming up. And then, like you say, you utilize and leverage, just like Janice showed us tonight. And before you know it, you're feeling on top of the world again. And it's that energy that you put out that attracts people. When you're feeling like this isn't such a great idea, you know, then people feel that. But yeah, it's law of attraction, right?
Awesome. Thank you. So guys, Sarah Beermore ran our new rep call. Thank you, Sarah, for taking that. And she's doing the 9 o'clock call. So if you guys have if you're new, has never heard Sarah's story and how she shares a business, she will be on the 9 o'clock prospect call. And I would highly, highly recommend that you jump off. It is a different code. Sarah, do you want to just type the code in there for everybody?
I don't know it off the top of my head. How bad is that? I'm going to type it in real quick here for you guys. Okay.
Okay, perfect. So you guys, if you haven't listened or just get on this call so that you can hear Sarah's message. The thing about our leadership is we all have a little bit of a different style. We have a different story. And so once you guys get familiar with all of our stories and what we can share, how cool is it that you know that, like, you know, next week it's going to be myself running the calls. So if you've got like anybody that might relate to my story, you'll want to get them on the 9 o'clock call. And just as a reminder, we do Monday nights at 9 and Wednesday nights at 9 for you guys. They are there. We wait for you guys to bring guests on so that we can third party validate them. So there's a number there, 724-749-597. One last minute before we wrap up. Thanks again, Sarah. Just a real big shout out. The regional that's coming up in Ontario this Friday is the deadline for tickets. So if you don't get your ticket for Friday, it will shut down. They need numbers at the casino. You will not be able to get a ticket. So you want to shout that out to your team and make sure that the tickets come in for the regional on Saturday, which is 9 to 1. As well, too, next week we have Alyssa Harriman coming to do the fabulous prevention class she did at conference, and we actually get her for the lunch hour on Thursday. It is a meal ticket and doors open at 11:30. We also have to have numbers in there at the end of this week, so work on it. I know that I'm buying a couple extra tickets because I don't have anybody confirmed yet because I'm just building on it now, but buy an extra ticket or two and get some guests out for Alyssa's talk because it will be amazing. So on that note, guys, thank you so much for joining. So excited to see everyone on tonight. And as you go to sleep, ask yourself, what can you do tomorrow to get uncomfortable? Good night, everyone. Thank you.